his father already had a plan. They had a plan. In other words, they knew about the flood. They knew about the disaster. And now he's saying, we're going to go help these people. But there's a plan that has been put in place. So Thoths did this. Gathered I then my people, that's his crew, and entered into the great ship of the master. He entered into the great ship of the master. His dad said, you know what, take my ship. Take my ship and go take care of this business. Now this ship that he got into, not a ship that sails on the ocean. Listen to this. This is very important right here. One of the most important parts in the evidence of something that doesn't sail but flies. Upward, we rose into the morning. He didn't say we got into the ship and sailed out to the sea. He says upward. I don't know of any ships except for spaceships and airplanes that go up. He says, dark beneath us lay the temple. Beneath. He didn't say the water was beneath us or the ocean was beneath us or the sea was beneath us. He said, dark beneath us lay the temple. The temple of where? The temple of Undal, where he just left when his father told him to go and take his crew. Suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth. What are the waters? See, in ancient times, they call the upper atmosphere in the sky the waters. The area where the clouds are and above were called the waters. In the Bible, they call it separating water from the waters because that's a whole nother podcast to get onto, which I will, because that's in the Enuma Elish, which I have the Enuma Elish right here, right? I'll talk about that in another podcast. But the fact of this, vanished from Earth. They've actually left Earth's atmosphere. They've actually gone up so high that they've left Earth until the time appointed was the great temple. So they've traveled some distance. The temple that they were looking for was in the area that previously flooded. So they've actually got a flight plan. And they've now executed this flight plan. And now here they are. Fast we fled toward the sun of the morning until beneath us lay the land of the children of Khem. Now you see, very few books out there, very few tablets that you discover will reference Egypt as the land of Khem. We know that Egypt was Kemet, ancient Kemet. Long before it was called Egypt. Egypt is a fairly new term given by the Greeks. And so the fact that he's referencing this land as the land of Khem lets me know these tablets are authentic. We're talking about the land of Kemet, long before it was called Egypt. But he said, fast we fled toward the sun of the morning until beneath us lay the land of the children of Khem. And the people there who had been surviving and generations have survived, maybe 2 or 3 generations have survived, they're now, back to, chisels and hammers and hunting and everything else, right? But they're not at the same technological level that they were before. Just like if we had an EM pulse bomb go off, right? An EM pulse bomb, in other words, not a bomb that hits the land and destroys everything, but it just sends an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, towards your city or your country and knocks out all electronics. What's going to happen? All electronics will be down. All microprocessors will be burnt out. Do you know that you can't call anybody, you can't drive anywhere because all cars run off of microchips now? You'd have to have an old-fashioned car with points and a carburetor in it, or you won't be able to go anywhere. And not many people have that anymore. So people will be completely disconnected and disoriented. You can't even call for help. Ambulances, nothing. Nobody can get to you. Nobody even knows you need them. So what happens in a civilization like that when everything's burnt out all at once? Well, people start to become hunter-gatherers, right? The barter and trade system takes over. The fiat currency system collapses. It's all about barter and trade. And when the existing things that were here run out and those resources get used up, then it's down to purely becoming a gardener and growing your own stuff, right? And guess what happens? Second generation comes, third generation, it's like, hey man, nobody knows anything. Because I know how to use a cell phone, but guess what, guys? I don't know how to make all the components to make a new cell phone from scratch when the EMP happens. So I can tell my kids all about the cell phone and how great it was. It's gonna take some generations for people to reinvent specific things, to get things going again and communication going again, to even be able to put up a cell system, right? It takes generations. So all of a sudden, it's like a kick back to the Stone Ages. So he says, fast we fled towards the sun of the morning until beneath us lay the land of the children of Khem. Raging they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. So he lands this ship. The people are like, man, what the hell is this? They're scared, they're pissed, they're a little worried, like, this is our territory. What is this thing? This could be danger for us. So when Thoth's doors open to the ship and they begin to walk out, the people of Kemet come running at him with weapons. They're getting ready to try to defend their land and their territory. They don't know if they mean good, or if they mean bad intentions. So we're gonna attack. We'll attack you first, ask questions later, right? That's basically how humanity always is anyway. Everything we think is coming to kill us, so we attack everything. That's why the UFOs don't come and just land in your front yard, because people will probably go get their guns and shoot them right away. So this is what happens here. Raging they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Here's what happens. It's very interesting. Thoth says this: then I raised my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. So he has a weapon that is non-lethal, but has the capability of reaching them via a frequency. It's a frequency weapon. And this frequency weapon freezes them in their tracks and stops them from coming to attack. Now that's pretty interesting. We're talking about 36,000 years ago. This guy's got a frequency beam weapon that can stop a gang of people from coming at him. Now, we were supposed to be literally just, living in caves, right? Just living in caves at that time, using chicken bones and copper chisels to do basic stuff, right? Making spears and trying to kill rabbits for dinner and all that kind of stuff. But then guess what? This guy comes with technology, crazy technology. Let's take a look at this and see if we have this kind of technology in modern times. It's called the active denial system, right? It penetrates the skin 1/64th of an inch, causing the feeling similar to being on fire. And they have different types of active denial system frequencies. It's a frequency weapon where they can make you feel like you want to vomit. They can make you feel ice cold. They can put voices in your head. They can make you feel like you're in pain. All right, all these different things they can do with the active denial system. Let's take a quick look at this short video.
Marines and several other DoD representatives had quite the heated demonstration at Quantico, Virginia from the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate.
This is a military area. Move away from the perimeter. I say again, this is a military area. Move away from the perimeter.
Their new active denial system boasts a reach far beyond any other non-lethal system.
Well, it's a versatile system, and it has a range of non-lethal capability that we can't even come close to with any of our fielded systems today that are in our military forces.
About 7 football fields to give it some perspective. It can deter individuals on a military perimeter all the way up to a riotous crowd. All without permanent harm.
It only penetrates 1/64th of an inch of your skin. Goes very shallow into where your nerve receptors are, and there's no permanent injury caused by it. Very safe system. We've built in some safety margins, and training for the operators.
They even let any of the guests volunteer to test out its effectiveness and safety, including the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps, Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, and Assistant Secretary of the Navy. Most describe.
Pretty interesting stuff there. That's the active denial system. It's real technology that already existed in ancient times. Thoth talks about this 36,000 years ago when he went to go see the people of the land of Kemet and see what he can do about helping them rebuild after the Great Flood. And this is the technology he used. Now, the first thing that I realized when I saw him utilize this type of technology was the fact that he was not evil. He didn't have any evil intent for the people. Because if he did have evil intent, using a non-lethal weapon would not have been an option, right? He wouldn't have been benevolent. Instead, he would have been malevolent when he would have tried to hurt, kill, make an example of people. Oh, you want to run at me? Watch this. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all gone, dead. Now everybody else fall in line. Be quiet and listen to what I have to say. So he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Pretty interesting stuff, right? And check this out. And Thoth said, "Then I spoke to them in words calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis." So you see, these Anunnaki beings were actually Atlanteans. Anunnaki means those who came from heaven to earth. It's a generalized term. Just like if you were to get in a spaceship with me and we traveled to another planet, let's say we went to Mars and we met some Martians there. The Martians say, "Who are you guys?" And we say, "We're Earthlings." We're not gonna say, "Oh, I'm a Floridian from Miami." I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say I'm an Earthling, right? That's what we tell them. We're Earthling. Both of us, we're from Earth. So Anunnaki is a generalized term, right? Atlantis is their civilization. They built an Atlantean civilization on Earth, the moon,